what's the difference between harps made here in Ireland and harps made elsewhere in the world?
I think it's mainly the tension, because the harps that are made out foreign, they don't really have the tradition of the Irish harp, and they come from manufacturing concert harps, which have a lot more strings, a lot harder tension, and they just made a smaller version of what they're used to, with the result that the tension is so much harder. It's harder on especially small children to cope with the high tension like on a concert harp. And they don't necessarily sound bigger. Very often, if you play one of my harps more gently, you will actually get a bigger sound. Like sometimes you meet people who are used to playing concert harps, will try one of my harps, and it sounds crazy, but they actually don't get the beautiful sound out of it that's in there, because they're so used to plucking really hard. So yeah, it's a totally different sound where they're coming from.
What goes into making a harp? The materials, the man hours? Talk to me about that.
I try and use as much as possible Irish timber, and in fact I used to locally buy trees when there were still sawmills around Navan area and furniture factories, so you could actually get the tree cut up there and get the timber, and then dry it, air dry it. And nowadays it's becoming very difficult to get proper sycamore, because most trees now that are knocked for firewood, because everybody has wood burning stoves. So it's getting pretty scarce. It's a beautiful material to work with. It's the same family as the maple, but it has a much softer tone than maple. And for soundboards I use Canadian red cedar, which is a lovely warm timber to work with. It's a lot more fragile than Sitka spruce, which is normally used for soundboards in guitars and that. But and then some of the hardware I get from the States, because it's not available here. But for the rest, everything is made locally with local stuff as much as possible.
Where do the majority of your harps go to? Around the world or around Ireland?
I'd say 60% is Ireland and the rest is for export. Yeah, there's one in Nashville actually. The furthest away I think is then the very, very tip of Canada there. What do you call that place? Anchorage, Alaska. I have a harp there.